And now we know. And Emmett Silk remembered, thankfully. Welcome, everybody. Good morning, good day, good evening, good night, wherever you are. Let's continue with Final Fantasy XIV and finally, hopefully, finishing up the Rolequests. I finally have time, and I'm right up and early because I somehow went to bed really early yesterday after work. I don't know. That's just how things are sometimes. But what are the plans for today? So I hope I'll be able to... Well, first of all, we're going to start and finish up the melee role quest that we left open the other day with the Sahagin. Do that last one. And then I'm going to go into the healer role quest, which will be the last role quest storyline that I need to do, while also leveling White Mage to 90. It's not missing that much, and I obviously still have the dailies from yesterday to do, so that won't really be an issue, I hope. So those are the two big things. And then later on, if there's still time, I mean, there is time, but, you know, I don't know if I can do it before lunch. We'll see, but I definitely want to do the new event and get my clown costume. I wonder if they mention... I haven't seen anything about it up until this point, so I wonder if they mention why it's not at the usual time. Because obviously it's the Halloween event. Halloween, you know, was almost 3 months ago, so let's see how they explain that. And then I also want to continue with the Ishgard collectibles turn-in quest with Count Trilamar, or whatever his name is, and continue with that as well. Because I haven't really done that in the past weeks because I wanted to get the full bonus white scripts and everything, which obviously you can't, you don't get that many if you haven't finished one of them. Definitely want to finish that as well. So that's sort of the plan for today. So let's start with the melee role quest, actually. Just need to take a look at... So yeah, my White Mage is very, very close to 88. With all of the dailies that I can still do, should be very close to 90. And yeah, so that shouldn't be a problem at all. And my Samurai is already 90, so I can definitely do the role quest. I also need to finish Wondrous Tales this week. Still missing 3 stickers. That'll be quick. I'll just do Titan or something. Yeah, and maybe 1 expert bullet as well. But first of all, before I start any of this, I mean, let me switch to my Samurai, first and foremost. And then I want to quickly go to the Gold Saucer, because I hate having double, triple, tri-cards in my inventory. It just annoys me. So let's turn that in first, and also do the mini Cacbot. I always say Cacbot. It's Cacbot, obviously. Bot is, you know, we don't talk about that here. Speaking of which, though, no, obviously we don't use it, but we finished the raid on Thursday, and I couldn't really talk much about it at that point because obviously it was pretty late. We went, well, not that much longer, but like 20 minutes longer, and yeah, we killed it. That was fun. I mean, it's a really, really cool raid here. I definitely like all of the fights. The second one, as I said before, has some points here and there where I would have wished that it's just a bit more interesting. I feel like the second fight could have used a couple of... let's see... unlucky. The second fight could have used a couple more interesting bits and pieces. It has its challenges, definitely. But at the same time, I felt like they should have, I don't know, done more in terms of mechanics rather than raid damage. Oh, for fuck's sake, really? Well, that was disappointing. Anyway. Yeah, I felt like I mean, at some point I'll maybe talk about the fights, maybe before or after we reclear or something, but the second fight could have used a couple more interesting bits and pieces. I think I said before that when, for the first time, the arrows appear, I know the fights need to introduce their mechanics, but I feel like, you know, there's a way to introduce mechanics that are still interesting, and there's a way to introduce mechanics that just takes way too long and is really uninteresting. The problem is the way they introduce the arrows. That's literally like a minute of the fight. It's just getting introduced to those arrows, right? Because first of all, the debuffs need to go out, then the debuffs need to resolve, you need to hit everybody, and then after that it also takes some time for the next mechanic to start. And that just being an introduction to the mechanic is not that great. I feel like, well, P3S, for example, does that a lot better. Even P1S does that a lot better, because they immediately start, I don't know, just a bit more interesting and quicker as well. Or maybe it just feels quicker. I actually have to look at the timeline and compare them. I mean, I know that P1S obviously also takes some time. You know, he starts off with the in-out, right-left mechanic, for example. But I don't know, I feel like that already is just a bit more interesting. And then he immediately goes into his completely new, like, chain thing, where you have to, like, 4 people have to stand far apart and 4 people have to stand close to each other. So, yeah, it's just... I love the Halloween decorations, by the way. Makes no sense to have them at the end of January, but at least they didn't skip on the event, which is really nice. Which they could have also done, right? But I guess they had already developed part of it, and, you know, it didn't really make sense to scrap it or anything. But still, right, I'm losing myself in details here, but overall the raid here is incredible. I really, really like it. It's the strongest raid here, I'd say, since Alphascape. Definitely. I mean, not that the Shadowbringers raids are bad. There's still a lot of really, really good stuff in the Shadowbringers raids, but overall, unfortunately, I always felt like there was too much letdown in a lot of the encounters. There was... I mean, I always say, like, I pretty much... whenever I try to review something, or not review, but I guess whenever I try to, well, look at how good something is, I always look at the potential that it has, right? I don't necessarily look at how good is it, I look at how good could it be, right? And obviously, that's also a very subjective thing, as is always the case with these kinds of, well, reviews, for the lack of a better word. But I'm always, like, that's just me personally. If I see something that could have been easily improved, or where a couple of, like, potential things just weren't done for no really discernible reason, then that's always just really, really disappointing. And I had that happen with a lot of fights in Shadowbringers. I mean, it's no secret that especially the third fights are really, really weak. And the problem is, right, I would say in the case, well, not even there. The problem is, right, you see these fights. You see E7, for example, which is definitely probably the weakest fight of Shadowbringers overall, almost. Is it? Yeah, I would say it is. Not necessarily, again, not necessarily from a fight design perspective, but from the potential that the fight could have had. The problem is that E7 doesn't utilize the things that it does at all. Not one bit. It introduces things to you, but then never does anything with it, right? The portals are never actually portals. They're not used the way a portals should be used. Random, right? They should have been random. Because, well, it only makes sense that way. Why would you introduce portals where you have to specifically look at where things go in and where things come out if they're always the same, right? I mean, there's literally just like 2 patterns or something. Same for the AoEs afterwards, right? Where you would think that you would have to spread, but you don't, because they just do 10k damage or something, and you have more than enough to survive that, right? Again, why? I guess almost the most interesting phase is actually the last one, where you have to run in a circle, which isn't that thrilling either. And then the fight also has that really, really cool moment where it creates these barriers, where you have to be teleported through the barrier to the correct position. It does it once, and then the teleport never comes up again. Only in the ads phase, but, you know, it's more a gimmick in the ads phase. Yeah. And the same for Leviathan, right? Leviathan is a really, really good fight after, like, 6 minutes have passed, right? The freaking... what were they called? The shadow puddle thing that he does at the very, very end of the fight that you can even skip if you're Abyss? Those should have come up repeatedly throughout the fight in different configurations. That's a really, really cool mechanic that wasn't properly utilized, right? And that's a very big theme throughout a lot of fights in Shadowbringers, I felt like, where they introduced really, really cool stuff in the fights and then never did anything with it, or used it once and then never again, even though there was a lot of potential to combine it in different ways for different mechanics, right? E6, same problem. E6 has a lot of problems in general, but there is this thing where when both Ifrit and Garuda are in the arena, what was it? I think one of the tanks needs to cut their tether so that it randomly hits another person, so that the tank isn't hit or isn't getting knocked unconscious via the debuff, right? If the tank gets hit twice, he gets this like unconscious debuff for a couple of seconds, and which would require you to invuln the tank buster, and you lose uptime for like a couple of seconds. You can avoid that by having a random person getting hit by the tether, which you can do by cutting the tether with the wind orbs. That's required exactly once. Every other time you want the tether to stay attached to you, which makes sense that would also be the case at some point, but there is so much potential to do different things with those tethers, and they just never do, right? It's always the exact same thing, and it happens like 3 or 4 times throughout the fight. Why? Yeah, so there was a lot of problems with the Shadowbringers raids. In general, I felt like, not that, you know, I mean, obviously nothing's perfect, right? Even Alphascape, the Midgard Zama fight, had a lot of problems, especially it also took a long time to get going, right? But yeah, this tier is really, really good. Again, I just feel like this tier, they've actually used the potential that they had with these fights. And they're really fun to go through. Especially the last one. It's just really fun to do. So yeah. And we actually, oh my god, we had... So, on Thursday, when we killed it, we had an enrage pull after like 90 minutes or something. So we started at 8 p.m. my time. And like 90 minutes, or after 90 minutes, we had an enrage pull in phase 2. That was 0.0%. And we later found out we were missing literally one GCD. Any GCD of any person, not one GCD by every person. We were missing one GCD by anyone, right? So 2,000, like the boss literally just had 2,000 HP left or something like that. Wow. And then it took us almost 2 hours to get back to that point, right? To get back to a to an enrage pool where we could actually kill it. Hoo boy. But fortunately we managed to do it. That would have been really disappointing. Well, I mean, it's still fine. We would have killed it today, obviously, but I mean, it's also just really nice to take a break once in a while. We're gonna have reclears on Tuesday, obviously, and then we'll probably go into tea. Do some tea reclears. I'm really looking forward to that. Still no idea what job I want to play for that, because Summoner is probably going to be really boring on 80. Because you're losing like the in-between summon skills. That would be very, very well, boring. I mean, I would have preferred to do UCOP, although I'd imagine that UCOP isn't that interesting either anymore, right? I mean, now we're 20 levels above it. Most jobs on 70 aren't actually that interesting, unfortunately. So yeah, I want to get the clear and I want to get the weapons, right? But at this point, in terms of the fight itself, I can understand that people don't really like doing UCOP. It's probably just not that interesting anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing TUR clears. I probably want to get the Gunbreaker and the Dancer weapon, simply because those two just don't have any other ultimate weapon currently. I think especially the Gunbreaker weapon just looks really cool. And then, well, let's see how many reclays we'll do. But I have, I think, 5 weapons currently, so there's a couple of other weapons to get. And I feel like the T weapons are still fairly uncommon. I think you don't see that many people with T... Well, not that you see many people with the other ultimate weapons, but still, I think T weapons... I think, even if people killed it, like me, for example, like, not that many people actually went back to get a weapon for every job, right? Or for a lot of jobs. I think a lot of people just killed it and then said, all right, this is this is it. We're not going to do that many reclays. Oh, hey, wait, what? I'm talking too much already. Yeah, that's my sign to actually do what I wanted to do, which is the role quest. All right, let's get into it, right? To calmer seas. Let's see how this ends. Despite our best efforts, the blasphemy continues to elude us. For the time being, we... Sorry to interrupt, but I have an incoming communication from Westgate. Still don't know how to pronounce his name. Westgate would be probably the correct one. Commander, we've snared ourselves a blasphemy. We've our erstwhile companion Real to thank. Knowing that the creature was once the Sahagan queen, he kept a close eye on the spawning grounds. Sure enough, he spied a massive black shadow moving beneath the water not long ago. After receiving word, Shivani Umani directed the Maelstrom warships in the vicinity to hurt the beast with cannon fire into the Sastasha Sea Grot. Oh, we're doing this in Sastasha. Interesting. Isolated as the Sea Grot is, we can engage our foe without putting smallfolk at risk. Any words for your men, Commander? Duty of the strong is to protect the weak. You don't have to tell me twice. I've been aching for a rematch. Oh, those are the other ones. Rush him blindly and it will go as poorly for you as it did the first time. Ha! Knowing you, I'm sure you'll show up just in time to see me deal the killing blow. Now, you cannot save our vitriol for the quarry, which I've lured to the perfect spot that is now waiting patiently for all of you to put it out of its misery. Brian Flux's gummy booms blast overbig blasphemy into bitty pieces. A motley crew you'll never find, but will serve you well when the battle's joined, believe you me. This is Merlwhip. I will ready your warship at once. Assemble outside the winch once you've all seen to your preparations. So, the time has come. I shall pray for your victory. Let's do this. I know I said this last time as well, but this role quest is a lot better done than the Gridanian one because it actually involves characters that you know and like, right? And that still have a part to play. Whereas in the Gridanian role quest, yes, there's Kani Senna, but that's pretty much the only person you know that appears during those role quests. It's just a bit underwhelming. Ah, the others should be along soon. Yes, let's do this. Have I actually upgraded my samurai job gear thing? Ah, it'll be fine. The blasphemy is still contained within the Sestasha Sea Grot. There it will meet its end, navigator willing. Shh. Would that my brothers and I could join you in the fight. And yet, blasphemous though it may be, that beast was once her mother. I understand. No. Forgive us for what we must do. Were there means to reverse the transformation, we would do all in our power to bring your mother back. Sadly, there's nothing left for her to say. For the future of the Sahagin and Limsa alike, the blasphemy must be laid to rest. And when the deed is done, I would bring your brothers, even the crushing tide, aboard the great ship we call Vilbrand. I do not want to slay your mother. And this thing she has become, a mindless beast who would enslave and kill her own, is an affront to the memory of those of who she was. It is not her. It is not. Remember this always. You must. I will not ask you to shoulder the burden of matricide. When the time comes to strike the final blow, I will do the deed. Shh, Admiral. All you say is true, and yet... Commander, I've sighted a group of fishbacks, crashing tide most like, heading straight for the Sea Grot. You'd best make your way here, and fast. Time to move out then. Any words for your men before we set sail? The day the blasphemy falls. You've grown into this role quite well, haven't you? But enough talk. It's time to show the realm that the company of heroes hasn't lost a step. Aye! We'll stand a better chance of slipping past the crushing tide if we split up. He and I will go together, while the rest of you take a different route. Let us brook no further delay. To Sestasha. All comes for full circle, right? Yeah, I don't even know. I don't think I ever picked up the new gear for frickin' Samurai. My queen, I beg of you, pray show your loyal son mercy. Ouch. The indigo beast. It literally just crushed him. Holy shit. But still. Or what's left of him? Speak, Ado! Why would our queen do such a thing? It is as the Rolequests say. What we thought a blessing is in truth a terrible curse. The horror. We must away at once. And leave the shore walkers to face our queen mother alone? No. I will stand with them. You mustn't sully your hands with the blood of your mother. Go, and be with your kin. Go! Forgive me. There you are. was beginning to think you wandered off a cliff, Lawrence. Must you say it like that? I prefer to think of myself as fashionably late. But enough talk. Comes. Let's kill this thing. That's a long loading screen. Should probably switch this. Here it comes. We're counting on you, Lawrence. Oh, it's doing this thing again. No enemy's weakness escapes my eyes. Just one shot here and... there we go. He's actually a machinist. Whoa. See how easy that was? I reckon you can do it too, Acting Commander. So we need to, like, defeat them from, like, every side or what? It's interesting that this is apparently a melee thing. That's not that hard. Is that all you've got? Time to put you out of your misery. Oh, right. And yeah, I have the new... I think that was the wrong one, right? The new Kenki thing? Oh, right, I also have the, Seriously? You actually have quite a lot to do on Samurai, to be honest. I think that's the... Whoa! What the hell was that? Probably shouldn't have second winded there, but I don't know. Oh, she's doing like limit break stuff or something? What's this now? Are they supposed to kill it, or how's this supposed to work? Oh, Ice Kate is now actually okay. I have a feeling that I'm missing something that I should be doing on Samurai, but you know, it's not that. It's the first time I'm playing it on 19, so
You're in my sights.
it's a lot of fun though. I've always liked Samurai since it got introduced into the game. Ooh. Whoopsie. I overcapped there. You know, if you're not really used to it, there's definitely a lot to keep track of on Samurai. Oh wait, what? Seriously. See when this goes off. You now have the like the double Midare is really you have that a lot of times now. A level and influence? Seriously. Or do we need to kill them individually? It's absorbing their ether. They have a lot of health. Do you have to be here, or how's this gonna work? To extinction flare? Okay. So we need to survive that a couple of times or something? It's gonna grow weaker though. It's enough ether to go blasting this entire island. We'd better work fast. Stand with you. Oh, nice. They're coming to our help, actually. As do we for the future of the Indigo Deep. Let's do this.
The winds favor us.
What? Can I not target? Oh, okay. We actually need to kill it.
I will not yield.
All right, I have to... This one, right? How does that work? That's just... Like, is that the finish? I actually have to I didn't use it once during the fight. I should probably look at my level 90 skill at some point. Maybe should have done so before the quest. I mean, that was a cool fight. Bit too event-like. I always like when they put actual mechanics in the fight, and it had those, but it also had a lot of sort of event sections. Still a cool one, though. I mean, the beast design, I really like that design. That's, like, I think the first time they used it is the event fate in the Tempest. But it's cool that they reused it because I think it's just a really cool monster design for some reason. I mean, it's simple, yet still just really cool. I will not ask for your forgiveness, but this I promise: you will be remembered for the mother you were. Admiral, I have no words. Our Queen Mother returns to the depths of eternal slumber. With your strength, you could have crushed us easily. Why did you spare our lives? The beasts and blasphemies are born from the despair in our hearts, but no more. I would break the cycle. Though Doe may have been blind to it, I believe in a future where Sahagin and Luminson live in harmony. Even after losing who she was, your queen made for your spawning grounds, and it is there she drew her last breath. When your next queen is crowned, know that she will have a safe place to raise her young. Once you have selected a suitable location, Limsa Lominsa will recognize and honor your claim. A promise for which we are grateful, Admiral. But what of the other peoples of Ilbrand? The kobolds are open to the idea. The details will need to be negotiated, but I am confident we can reach an agreement. Sahagin, Kobold, and Luminson alike yearn to abide in peace. We can make it so. I have never fought alongside shorewalkers before, but I must say, it felt good. We have fought our neighbors for generations. It has won us only suffering and tragedy. I beg of you, lay down your spears. 'Twill take time and effort to bridge the gulf between our peoples, but bridge it we shall. Where are you going? That was actually a pretty cool and emotional scene. It's cool to wrap up something that has been going on the entire game, right? Since the very start of A Realm Reborn, Sahagin and Limsa Lominsa were at odds in terms of their spawning grounds. I mean, we're literally in the very first dungeon, right? That already had a theme of that running through it. So it's really, really cool that how they brought that back around. I dare say we have a lot of talking to do as well, don't we, Commander Lawrence? Londonil, if you'd just allow me to explain. Let's be off before they drag us into this mess. I really like how they've brought them back into this. Like at the beginning, I was a bit unsure if they should have done that earlier during the quest line, but I think they actually did a really, really good job with that. Especially considering how long, again, think about it. I think the first time the Company of Heroes actually shows up is when you go into Brave Fox's Long Stop, which is the level 32 dungeon, right? And now here they are. And they're like, it just feels natural that they're part of this quest, right? It's just incredible. Let's start with this argument. Forgive us, what we have done, Queen Mother. Why did we ever believe that monstrosity was a blessing? What fools we were. At last, it's over. We can take pride in the respite we've won, but we must never forget those who could not be here with us to enjoy it. Bravelock's all talks. Fighting with Gobby friends gives Bravelock's good feels. God, I love the Gobby speak. Wondering where I was during the battle? Well, I wasn't slacking off, if that's what you're implying. My duty was to protect the ship to ensure our safe return. True. Of course it was. I dare say the blasphemy was the most formidable foe our company has ever faced. I must further hone my skills, lest the next enemy prove too tough for us to handle. Who invited this bloody bastard anyway? Oh there! Good to see our acting commander, hale and hearty. He's still trying to calm down. Perfect timing, acting commander. You must save me from this bloodthirsty bastard. Well, Lawrence, let's hear your excuse, and it had better be a good one. Why in the seven hells were you skulking about in the shadows while we did all the dirty work? Well, I mean, he pretty much saved our lives during the last quest, right? So... Like, you'll not be any happier if I'd showed myself sooner. I can hear you whinging now. What, you didn't think we could handle this on our own? I'd be bloody furious regardless. Don't think I've forgotten what happened, or rather didn't happen, on the day of our duel. Even though the future of the company hung in the balance, I waited, and waited, and waited some goddamn more, and still you never turned up. I've got you now, and I will have satisfaction. You're starting to sound like Xenos. Even Lawrence's penchant for a late arrival, I couldn't help but worry too. To say he got it fine would be an understatement. And not by choice as usual. My scouts observed him roaming near Costa del Sol not long ago. It would seem our commander's woeful sense of direction has not improved in the least. Wait, he actually just didn't know where he had to go? Is that true? I'm honestly surprised I never realized, Landonel, that was to blame for his extreme tardiness. That the commander did indeed arrive at the agreed-upon location for your duel, after the sun had risen and set a half-dozen times. Navigator, take me. Shamani, you promised that would stay between the two of us. Ah, Bravelocks, you have a kind word or two for your old commander, don't you? Commander Lawrence, Commander no more. New commander, friend to gobbies everywhere. Does many sweat works for gobby kind. And there I thought you were too much of a coward to face me in battle. Come now, Landonel. You know me better than... Of course. Then it's settled. We fight here and now. On your guard. Put that thing down, I say. You could hurt someone with that. To believe he was once the glue that held this merry band together. That's right. If you hadn't yet realized the obvious, Lawrence is our former commander. Forgive me for not stating it plainly sooner. I didn't want you to think we doubted your leadership. He's got his quirks, but as you saw, he's a force of nature on the battlefield. Anyhow, I think we can all say your stint as acting commander has been a rousing success. Now I reckon it's about time you gave your final order. Company of Heroes band break once more. Brave folks never like parting with gobby friends. Hear, hear. I may have my complaints, but when we're together, good fight's never far away. You hardly need a company or commander to get you that. And should Limsa again be in peril, there's nothing stopping us from rising to the occasion. Till then, you're all strong enough in your own right. Why not serve the weak in your own ways? What the hell was that? It's time for you to do what I once did. Give your men their final orders and send them on their way. Brave Flux wants busy work. Brave Flux awaits Uplander's lip flaps. No more cheese wars. I don't want them to disband, to be honest. Like, why would I want that? They should stay together. That's perfect. I mean, we would have somebody to look after Limsa in case something goes wrong, right? No more cheese wars, please. Brave Fox feels heavy heart, but accepts Uplander's bossy words. Brave Fox had good times and happy fields with gobby friends, but good times will come again, and when they do, new boomsticks will bring blasty doom with much fastness. God. Well, let's hear it, Commander. You owe me a bottle of your finest Bacchus. Indeed, indeed. I mean to return to Wineport as soon as I've tied up a few final loose ends here. You know what? I mean, I just realized that. He's the guy with the wine quests, right? Or girl? Guy? Probably guy, right? Of course. Why didn't I remember that? Like, it's not like I didn't know. I just, for some reason, didn't remember that he's just standing there all the time, right? Next to the... I mean, he was even part of the Stormblood Alliance raid quest, that weird side quest where you had to get a bottle of wine. You had to get that from him, correct? If I remember that correctly. Speaking of wine, I've always preferred the older vintages. Left to sleep in their barrels for many a summer, they come out tasting better than ever. One might say the same about your own company. Where were the other ones, though? I'm pretty sure that you could have talked to them even before this quest, right? They have to be somewhere. I await your orders, Commander. Look after the you, brave noon. I have responsibilities, a tribe that wants for my guidance and protection. Can ill afford to tarry here much longer. Nevertheless, it is with some regret that I take my leave. For all their faults, of which I have many, they are my companions, and I will miss them. Well, if you've something to say, let's hear it. Return to the whalers and keep the murdering to a minimum. Ha! So if I needed you to tell me, while I enjoyed the diversion, I know as well as any that my true place is in Gridania leading a respectable life. You may not have been the perfect commander, but 12 is my witness. I hope to fight by your side again. Farewell. You've had quite the turn of duty, but all good things must come to an end. Any parting words before we go our separate ways? Give Gegeruju my best regards. Finally! Can enjoy some semblance of peace again. At least as much peace as a man can enjoy waiting hand and foot on the Lord of Costa del Sol. May have been rough sailing at times, but I rather enjoyed serving under you, acting commander. And on that note, I ought to be on my way. Slipping away again, are we? You are a creature of habit. I resented you for it at the time, you know, but I think I understand now. Better to shun fame and not serve as an example for glory seekers too eager to fight and too quick to die. You're overthinking it. I'm a creature of whimsy, a man who lets the tailwind carry him where it will. But more importantly, this new age belongs to the new blood. I've had my day in the sun. If you succeed in brokering peace with the beastmen, there'll be no need to worry about primals, and the company can go into permanent retirement. And then I can say I did right by the old man. If you hadn't been there for us both, I don't know if I could have pulled the trigger. Thank you, Lawrence. Brother? I did nothing. It was you who shouldered Captain Blowfish's burden, and that of the entire League. I'm sorry, Merwhip. I know it hasn't been easy for you. But I dare say you've worked hard enough. Maybe as company folk aren't the only ones in need of retirement. But I've said too much. Lawrence holding his tongue. Gods, you have changed. But yes, our greatest test as Admiral still lies ahead, as we steer the great ship Vilbrand towards a new future. You truly are your father's daughter. I owe you my thanks, too. Dare say you did almost as good a job keeping my men to task as I could have done. Call it a hunch, but something tells me our paths may cross again. But forgive me if I carry on like I've never seen you before. Not unlike my old friend Mistbeard, I prefer to keep my past in the past. And with that, I'm off. Take care of yourselves. And there he goes. The blasphemy is no more, but we will never know lasting peace until the crushing tide agrees to lay down their arms. It will be a daunting task, but as we saw in Zastasha, they are not beyond reason. I will do all in my power to see that our efforts and the sacrifices of my brothers were not in vain. Forgive us. Even after being freed from false Scott's thrall, still we clung to our hateful beliefs. It was easier to hearken to Speakado's every word and turn a blind eye to the harsh truth. Easier and cowardly. I will return and speak with my brothers at the crashing tide. I will tell them of our Queen Mother's sacrifice and the vision of hope you have shared with us. I ask only that you give us time and trust us to make our own decisions. You have my word. If you would not be averse, let us return to the spawning grounds together. Adventurer, I have no words to express my gratitude to you. I will repay you the only way I know how, by doing my part to usher in an age where Shorewalker and Saharin stand as one. Just us now, it would seem. Ever since we achieved a measure of peace with the kobolds, I prayed that this day would come. Though it is, of course, only a beginning. Negotiations must be held, and words exchanged in earnest will invariably lead to flared tempers and bruised egos. But such things always accompany meaningful progress. The history of Vilbrand is one of bloodshed, and we have the power to change our ways. After all, it is clear we are united more by our similarities than we are divided by our differences. I will share what I have seen of the Sahagin with my fellow Luminsons, and listen closely to their doubts and concerns. For it must be a harmony not foisted upon them from above, but one which they aspire to of their own free will. No doubt, Noel and his brothers feel the same. Wow. I wish we had actual politicians like this in our age, right? Again, you have come to Limsa's aid, my aid, at a time we needed it most. When we next meet, I hope 'twill not be as admiral and adventurer, but as friends. Mayhap trading war stories over ales at the wench. But for now, I must return to my duties. Drafting reports and decrees is hardly the most exciting part of my role, but it is a necessary one. If you happen to pass through Ratzatan, pray share your exploits with our delegate there. Doubtless he will be interested to hear your first-hand account. One day, I will lay down these muskets of mine for good. But not yet, father. Not yet. You know what? In a way, it's really sad finishing these quests, right? Because they also sort of mark our departing from the old part of the world, right? The world that we've known for so long. I have a feeling, well, I mean, obviously there's still going to be things that happen here. Probably the new Alliance Raid series will have a lot to do with the Realm Reborn zones, I'd imagine. Because there's still signs of the 12 everywhere, right? Like the signs that it still exists from the 2.0 trailer, where the Scions prey, they all still exist, I think. Or most of them anyway. So yeah, it's not like we're departing these zones for good, right? But it's still something, I don't know, kind of a sad moment, right? Because finally, there's not really anything left to do, or left unsaid here, right? We've brought peace, and I mean, one of the big themes that has been running all throughout Endwalker is also that we're sort of passing on the torch of dealing with things in Eorzea to other people, right? There's all these people that we've met throughout our adventures that are now, well, responsible for holding up peace. And it's not really our duty to do so anymore, right? Yeah, did I actually upgrade my gear? No, I didn't. Of course I didn't. At least I have the right side. Some of the right side anyway. And I could have, or should have rather, grabbed the left side gear from Charlie and Tataru. Should probably do that, right? So let me see. Did I actually forget that somewhere else? No. My Paladin has his gear. Scholar has his gear. And my casters have their gear anyway. So before I return to Ratzatan, let me actually grab the gear from Tataru's business, the samurai gear. Always with the calming music. Hello there, physical DPS. Why they won't split this into melee and ranged, I'll never know, but... Ah, right, I haven't actually finished the quest. I was wondering why this wasn't dieable yet, but... Samurai... Samurai... Alright, not missing something else. Oh. Well, shit. Blacksmith, and this is Culinarium, yeah. I hope that I'll actually get to the Crafter Relic stuff at some point. Oh, the botanist and fisher ones are here as well. Yeah. There's still a lot that I need to do with crafting anyway. I still need to get gear overmilled a bit. I won't do too much just because it's not really necessary. There's gonna be new crafted gear in 6.1 and I can just buy raid food and pots for now. They're not really that expensive. So the only thing I'm really concerned with is that come 6.1, I actually want to craft my own crafted gear, right? So, yeah, that's gonna be a thing. Okay. Let's equip this. 564. Paladin is 563. Interesting. Well, this looks decent. The new job gear looks good anyway. It's just weird that you have like... That's not even... Those aren't goggles. I thought that those were like a... That's interesting. There's some kind of... Well, I don't even know. I mean, how would you describe that? Almost looks like war paint or something. The rest looks like the body piece looks incredible. Holy shit. If I can dye that black, maybe I'm actually gonna change out the body piece that I'm wearing currently. Oh, whoops. I mean, I very much like my samurai glamour, but... Right? Maybe I'll change it. I have to see how it looks with the head and everything. But... we will change to White Mage now. And do the healer role quest. And once that's done, I'm done with the role quests. Oh, never mind. I need to actually finish this one first. Back to Ratsatan we go. I mean, I could probably buy some rings. I just don't know if it's really worth it at this point. I mean, well, it doesn't really matter either way, right? Then again, we're gonna have this current gear level for half a year, right? So even if the new ultimate comes out on 6.1, or 6.11 rather, it's still going to be the same maximum item level. How many? Yeah. Does my tank not have a ring either? Or what is missing here? Oh, they're missing the earrings as well, alright. Yeah, let's grab... Let's see... Tombstone Exchange. Let's grab the tank ring. This one. And the melee ring. Whoop. Doesn't actually change that much in terms of item level, but... So yeah, Paladin's also missing an earring. That's why it's one item level lower. And Scholar has the... Wait, so... Right. I don't have the Samurai Heidelin weapon. I still have, I think, 2 coffers, though, if I'm not mistaken. So I could grab that if I wanted to. I mean, it makes sense, technically. Maybe? Didn't make any sense for me to grab the 560 weapon then, right? Wait, am I on Samurai? Yes. So my Paladin... Yeah, Paladin has the Heidelin weapon, right? Yes. Paladin has the Heidelin weapon. I think almost all of my jobs actually have their... Like, the ones that are at 90 at least. Red Mage and Black Mage have them. Does the... Well, the Bard... Bard does not have them. Not really playing Bard, though, so... Don't have it in the inventory either. I have the Machinist weapon, right. This is the Summoner book, yeah. Let's see. Dancer, Reaper, Samurai. Yeah, let's just grab the Samurai weapon. I think I still have a coffer on a retainer as well. I mean, I need to farm Heidelin anyway, so... That doesn't look that great. The sword itself looks cool. I think it's pretty... It's longer than the other ones. This doesn't look good, though. Oops. 570. Alright. Cool. And now I can actually get rid of the other weapon. Let's see, what do I have here? I can get rid of this one, right? Which one is this anyway? Emerald Blade. Oh, that's from Emerald Weapon. Yeah, let's get rid of this one. Decent. Nice! Well, I don't know how much that's still worth, but, well, it's not nothing, that's for sure. It's going to be worth something when they release the weapons. Alright, let's finish the quest. Again, I still don't know whether or not they already implemented a final quest after you've done all the role quests, or whether or not that's going to come in 6.1 or later. I know that they said that they're going to implement more things based on the role quest later on. So I'd imagine that there will be... I mean, what could they do with this? Because the role quests in Shadowbringers actually led to us discovering more about the Warriors of Darkness, and subsequently who the person was that actually made a deal with the Asians and became the... Well, the E10 boss, right? What's it called? The Shadow Dog, whatever it's called. And through doing the role quests and the subsequent quests, there was then stuff where they connected Unul Kahai and the Warring Triad quests to the role quests from Shadowbringers, and ultimately we found a way, or we started a discovery of what we could potentially do for the 13th shard, right? And resolve that whole issue. And I wonder if there's, like, that has to continue at some point, right? I hope at least. Because that would be an incredible story to go through. That could be another Alliance Raid series or something. And with the, well, but yeah, that's the thing with these role quests, right? It's a lot harder to imagine what they could do here, because they all feel very final, right? All of the issues that get resolved through these role quests seem like we're finally getting to a point where, as I just said, right, where all the individual zones and people are at peace with one another. So I don't know what else we would really be able to do once everything's resolved. It's definitely going to be interesting to see what they do with this. You return! Pray tell, what news from my homeland? Extraordinary! I had the chance at peace with the Sahakin. These are heartening tidings indeed. Without a doubt, you have helped to dispel the pall of despair that once hung over all Vilbrand. Our people now bask in newfound hope. I must share the news with the others. Full glad will they be to hear that the threat to Limsalaminsa is no more. Thank you again, my friend. Nice. More than loss. Okay, and now we can finally get to the healer role quest. Far from free. You learn from the allied delegates appointed to Sundrop that a blasphemy has made a sudden appearance in the streets of Alamigo. With the city guards' ranks left severely depleted and most of their healers committed to treating the Tempered, Roban has requested that you assist in efforts to slay the beast. Right, we have to get to the living quarter. Let's see what this is about then. So this is the first quest. I hadn't really started this. I only took on the quest, even though I now realize that since we had to get back to Ratzatan to finish the melee quest anyways, I probably could have just started with it now, but whatever. Doesn't really matter. I never really started it to begin with, right? It's just the, just took on the quest. So, let's see what this is about then. But this quest can only be good, right? With Arnvald and Fordola in the picture? This has to be something really, really cool. Blasphemy Hunter. You're cute. Ah, we were told you were on your way, but this is even quicker than expected. Is it? I took like a week. Or not a week. Wait, when did I actually last do role quests? Wasn't it like Tuesday or something? Or Wednesday, maybe? Wait, was it? I think it was Tuesday, actually. Well, not an entire week, but still pretty long. I'll tell Commander Alden you've arrived. One moment, please. Glad you could join us. We meet again, Roban. It's good to see you. Now that the far greater crisis has been resolved, we may and must turn our undivided attention to matters of a smaller but no less deadly scale. I'd like nothing more than to hear about your recent adventures, but I'm afraid such pleasantries will have to wait. Ow! Wait, isn't that the Heaven on High boss? Or am I confusing that with something else? I think that is, right? As our man in Tavnir will have told you, a blasphemy is loose in Alamigo. When it first appeared, the city guard were able to get most of the bystanders to safety, and for mercy, those caught in the chaos only suffered minor injuries. But the fiend managed to escape, and has not been seen since. We must find it, and soon, for as long as it remains at large, every man, woman and child is at risk. As was the case on Thavnir, the blasphemy's very existence seems to spur the creation of lesser beasts. The longer it is allowed to roam free, the more tragedy our people will suffer. Did anyone see the change take place? Aye, there were several eyewitnesses who gave the same account. A man walking through the Alamegan quarter fell to his knees all of a sudden, and a moment later transformed into the monstrosity we now pursue. But beyond the fact he was a young Highlander, we know next to nothing about him. Even the descriptions of his appearance are too vague to help identify the lad. We've no clues as to his name or background. For all we know, he might not have been born in Alamigo. Might have been the son of refugees come to visit. There are other possibilities we're investigating, though. That said, I doubt his circumstances are unique. Blasphemies and beasts are born where men are overcome by despair, and whatever drove him to turn likely could have done the same to another. Therefore, if we are to prevent future tragedies, it is imperative that we identify and address the underlying cause. Until we do, we'll have no choice but to deal with the afflicted the only way we know how, by granting them a quick death. For now, I would have you join the hunt and keep my men from falling prey to these creatures. Are you up to it? You have my thanks. And as chance would have it, we've just received word that a number of beasts were spotted on the outskirts of Algana. The troops stationed there have already put them down, but were wounded in the process. First and foremost, they need medical attention, and that's where you come in. I'll meet you there. It's also, again, very, very cool that they actually address the fact that you have to do this as a healer. I always confuse Alganha and Alagiri, or whatever that other place is called. Although the soldiers were able to lead the beasts away from the village and culled a lot of them, victory did not come easily. It's times like these that our lack of healers is most sorely felt. I dare say they've yet to receive any treatment at all. See to their wounds while I survey the area for any stragglers that may have escaped. Once I've completed my patrol, I'll head to the village to gather eyewitnesses' reports. Look for me thereafter. Huh. I think that's actually the first time that you interact by healing? Like this? Gods be good. I feel reborn. Hold on. You're him, aren't you? Can't believe it. You're the one who inspired me to join the Resistance in the first place. Now you've come to save me in my hour of need. I'll never forget this. Thank you, thank you. Oh wait, was that a woman? Maybe, yeah. Oh, whatever. From afar, it's always hard to tell. I saw them change right before my eyes. Those weren't monsters I killed, but innocent men. But it had to be done. There were others we had to protect. And thanks to you, I can continue to do just that. Once I've made my way back, I'll give a full account. The families, they'll understand. Well, they might understand, but does it actually change anything, I wonder? Oh, there he is. Arnwald! Hi! It was good of you to come all this way. Now, I never doubted for a moment that you wouldn't. You're the elder... What's it called? Town eldest? Something like that? After all you've done for the people of Garabania, we couldn't ask for more. And yet here you are. God, I love this music. Stormblood had so many good songs. For treating the wounds of those soldiers, you have my thanks. And theirs too, no doubt. Seems they were indeed successful in slaying all the beasts, if my search is any indication. But we must remain vigilant. I've also spoken with several people who witnessed the moment of the transformation, though the ordeal has understandably left them rather shaken. I hear you've been through a fair few ordeals yourself. As for me, I've been kept busy with this and that, like getting the hang of this wheelchair. Obviously it has its limitations, but it gets me where I need to go. I've been working with this new organization as well, which is what brought me here, but no sooner had I arrived than those locals turned. Ragenfried, I heard you were there when it happened. What can you tell us? The ones who underwent the change are the very people we were trying to help. Perhaps I should explain from the beginning. The meeting Lise held in the royal palace marked a turning point for all of Garabania. It spurred us to open a dialogue with peoples and communities we otherwise would have shunned. But there's still so many problems to be addressed, and countless souls struggling to build new lives for themselves. I decided to form a volunteer group, the Silver Griffins. Our main concern is the welfare of Alamegans who sided with the Empire, for whatever reason, and helping them find their place in society. In particular, the surviving families of the Crania Lupi. You've changed your tune. Make no mistake, I've not forgiven them. I don't have that in me, and I doubt I ever will. But the memory of that day in the palace, of Fordola asking to be locked up again after saving us all, it stayed with me. Got me to thinking about why she and the other youths would commit such atrocities. Why they'd swear to serve the Empire. The answer was simple. Because they'd seen what we'd seen and suffered much the same. In a hell, where all were condemned, they chose to betray one brother to save another. That's how the Garleans win. Not by breaking you, but by making you break yourself. By making that choice the right one for a man at the end of his tether. Healing only begins with liberation, and some scars never will regardless. Those who've returned from foreign lands may have difficulty carving out a living here, are the ones who'd pledged allegiance to Garlemald. This is not the Alamigo we dreamed of, but after 25 years of misery, I'll not see it all thrown away because we can't come to terms with the past. That's why I formed the Silver Griffins, to see that no one is cast aside. It's a cause I support, and that's what brought me here today. I've been acting as a mediator. Aye, in the short time he's been with us, he's proven himself a natural. Despite our early successes, the families of the Skulls continue to refuse our help. I think I see where this is leading. They're the ones who turned, yes. It comes as no surprise. Their kin tormented and murdered fellow Alamegans. Anyone with a conscience would feel shame and guilt. And for some, it might be too much to bear. I think I might know why they're turning us away. It's a sensitive matter, though, so let's go somewhere we won't be overheard. It's about one of the men who turned. I saw his memories. With the echo. I'll not pretend I understand it, but tell us what you learned. I only caught a glimpse, but that was enough. It was during the occupation. A man raising his son. Only the two of them, but they were a family. To keep his boy clothed and fed, he chose to side with the Empire. He knew what others would say, but he did it anyway. And so he was branded a traitor. Every day his son listened to the jeering, the insults, but there was nothing he could do. When he came of age, he joined the Skulls in the hope it would make life easier for his father. He never dared to question his orders, no matter how depraved. He died in the revolution, but not before killing his own countrymen. His father wept not for the betrayer and murderer, but for the man he could have been. He blamed it all on himself, right up until the change took him. I can only pray he and his boy have finally found the peace they were denied in life. Alas, there is an all too familiar tale, theirs. They cannot forgive themselves, nor can they see how anyone else could. The sins of their kin weigh heavy on them. They think themselves undeserving of our compassion. If they carry on like that, they'll turn into beasts. We've got to help them before it's too late. Growing up half Garlean and Alamigo, I know how it feels to be shunned and hated, to hate myself. But so long as we give ourselves and others a chance, we can change for the better. And while I might not be as clever or eloquent as someone like Alfino, I know I can make a difference. I might not be quite the swordsman I used to be, but I'm still a fighter at heart, and I owe it to Abba and Ollie to make the most of this life so long as I've got it. We Silver Griffins will give our all to see that no more beasts or blasphemies ravage Girabania again. So, Commander Aldin, do we have your approval to continue our work? Of course. There is no enemy more formidable than despair, and I'd be a fool to refuse your help. That even a single one of our people has succumbed to this transformation is proof of our failure to protect them. Therefore, I pledge the Silver Griffins my unconditional support. Together we will prevail. Now that we have him on hand to aid the troops, I believe we are ready to face any beasts we encounter. Though I fear it is only a matter of time before others appear, I ask that you lend the Silver Griffins your assistance in the meantime. Very good. For now, let's return to the city. It's gonna be a sad one, isn't it? Well. I like the setup of this quest. I mean, yes, it is going to be pretty sad, isn't it? Oh, Alamigan quarters. But it's a cool setup for the quests nonetheless. What's that outfit? Oh, that's the, yeah, it's the same one that I'm wearing, I think. Just with the hood on. Not the one that I'm wearing currently, but the one that my summoner has. Those who harbor guilt do so not because they are weak of heart, but because they have failed to meet the demands they make of themselves. It was the same for me when I believed that my failures had led to the Sultana's assassination. The despair and self-loathing were indescribable. I was fortunate that you and the other Scions came to my rescue, and I had friends who convinced me I was more than the sum of my worst mistakes. Now we must do the same for the people of Alamigo. We must help them to heal and find the strength to, if not forgive, then come to terms with who we were, so that we can look to who we can be. We should aspire to be. This is precisely why the work of the Silver Griffins is so vital. Though our problems are not new, the emergence of this deadly phenomenon means we cannot afford to delay addressing them any longer. We will be better for it ultimately. Once we've decided a course of action, you will be the first to know. Until then, may Roga watch over you and keep you. The Butcher's Blade. We were hoping you'd stop by. I'll show you to Commander Alden at once. You are a welcome sight as always. Well, I mean, we just spoke like 10 seconds ago. Aye, and a lot's happened since last we spoke. We Silver Griffin's been keeping busy. As have I and my men, but I'm afraid we've little to show for our efforts. Although we've been searching high and low for the blasphemy, we've seen neither hide nor hair of it. Unfortunately, everyone else has had better luck. We've received reports of lesser beasts throughout Girabania, and putting them down is as important as hunting the blasphemy that got away. To complicate matters, rumors have been circulating that these beasts were the Skull's kin. While this was true of the recent incident in Alagana, we cannot have people jumping to conclusions, given what they might feel tempted to do. It has been suggested it would take these individuals into custody, for their own protection as much as the safety of others. But that would only isolate them even further and give credence to the rumors. The recent unrest has hindered the efforts of the Silver Griffins to no end. Therefore, I ask that you aid them in their endeavors and see if there is aught that can be done. Also, you'll be joined by another volunteer. Try not to be too surprised. I thought I felt my ears burning. Hi. Long time no see. I said I don't need a keeper. But did they bloody listen? Did they bollocks? Come on, don't be like that. This is what you agreed to. Besides, you never know when you might have need of a healer. There's none better than him. He's right. You've earned a measure of trust, and this shouldn't be taken to mean otherwise. Thick as thieves are we now, and there's no need for this solding collar, eh? Sorry. Oh, interesting. We all know it's not coming off anytime soon, but if this is how it's to be, then fine, so long as he keeps out of my way. I want the two of you to visit the Silver Griffin's headquarters in Alaganha. Several relatives of the Crani Lupi have agreed to meet with them. We could do with a measure of precaution. If anyone so much as mentions the skulls, I'll deal with it. Understood? Let's get this over with. She is as much at risk of turning as anyone, maybe even more so. You don't need the echo to see the weight she's carrying. She's still not got a handle on her own echo either. Sometimes the visions come without warning, and with such force that it's all she can do to save standing. There's no telling what might happen when she comes face to face with the family of her former comrades. So look out for her, please. I wish there was more I could do for her myself. But we've all got our own duties, and I'll see them through to the end. So must we all. Follow Fordorla's lead. We're counting on you both, but be ready to step in, even if she curses you for it. Well then, this is going to be interesting. Yeah, I'd imagine most people aren't too pleased to see her. And I remember her... When was that? Was that patch 4.1 when we got her backstory a little bit? And... yeah, I think so, right? That was also when we discovered how much she suffers because of the artificial echo that they induced into her. I had a feeling Rauban would send you. But as for her... if you've got any complaints, take it up with the commander. No, it's fine. Truth be told, ever since that day at the Royal Palace, I've been thinking. Stop. You don't want to say it, and I don't want to hear it. To the matter at hand, then. We Silver Griffins have been working to support the relatives of the Crani Lupi. One family has gone missing. A mother and her parents, who lived together under the same roof. One of ours paid them a visit, but they were nowhere to be seen. And when they went inside to check, they found the house had been torn to shreds. Thick gouges on the floor and the walls, made by beasts' claws by the look of them. You think they've turned? Aye, that's the most likely explanation. Please, do what you must before anyone else is hurt. There's no time to waste. I'll head west, you east. Oh, almost flew by it. I guess we're surveying the area for now. I was distracted by the Novus Network chat. Oh, there is one. You look interesting. I think they're talking about Tefnarian onions. Or not Tefnarian onions, but the... what are the other ones called? For your chocobos? The chocobo onion things? A letter. In the dirt you spy an envelope containing a crumpled, tear-stained letter. Dear Mother, I hope this letter finds you well. Time is short, so I must keep this brief. Although I have never done anything to make you proud, I promise you things will be different when the war is over. Until then, take care, and know that I love you with all my heart. Placing the letter back into its envelope, you turn your attention to finding the others. So that's a letter from a son that was most likely still in the Garlean army? Guess? Isn't that a good sign, though? I mean, as long as there's no proof that he died, wouldn't the mother still have hope? So there must have been like a turning point where they actually learned the actual fate of their son or something? How the hell did my size... Oh, well, I was still standing here, right? Oh. Time 1 wedding ring. You discover what appears to be a wedding ring, with the name, date engraved on the inside. Name and date. With seemingly no more clues to be found, you decide to report to Ragnfrid. So that's the wedding ring of the older... pair, then? I guess this, like the boy would have been their grandson or something? Are you able to find anything? Then it is as we feared. I found and killed the third. It was carrying this. A matching ring. I'll deliver these effects to their next of kin and arrange for a funeral. Or as close to one as possible under the circumstances. There's no changing the past. We'll always carry it and the scars. No matter who we were or what we did, we're all Amigans, then and now. The Empire was our enemy then, and now it's despair. Good words and deeds will serve us best in this fight. Weapons even an old man like me can yet wield. Thanks to the two of you, the missing villagers may finally be laid to rest. I and the other Silver Griffins will redouble our efforts to prevent any further tragedies. I finished checking the wares, sir. Everything's in order. Good work. Take a rest, lad. You've more than earned it. Keep this to yourselves, but Everett's younger brother was a member of the Crania Lupi. He's exactly the sort of person we're trying to help. Like many of the others, he was reluctant to talk to us at first. But after we'd gained his trust, we were able to help him find work. He's taken to it well. It's her. The butcher. Traitors. All of us kinslayers deserving of hate and death. Hate and death. Get back! Get back! It's a weird angle there with her shield, but okay. Stay away from her! Fordola saved your girl's life. I know, but she's... happened in an instant. That poor lad. But it had to be done, and without hesitation. It's been much worse otherwise. Would you go after Fordola and see to her wounds? I do what I can here. Why? I guess Fordola must have reminded him of why he was shunned in the first place, right? Why he wouldn't be accepted. I want to say thank you to the brave lady for rescuing me. Do you think I'll see her again? She risked her life to save my daughter. Whatever else she may have done, I owe her for that. At least she realized that. How did Fordola go? Oh, there she is. I'm fine. Leave me be. I said I don't need your help. I'm a healer. Let me do my job. God, I'm like a dog with a bone. Go on then. Make it quick. curl can't change its spots. There's no washing the blood off my hands. Nor would I, even if I could. Taking up Garlean steel was the first choice, but not the last. Like the first kill, the hardest. Every choice after that came easier and easier. Till I stopped counting. Stopped caring. You tell yourself it's right. It's for the greater good. You give the order, feel the ground tremble as the cannon fires. When the dust settles, your own men are buried beneath the rubble. You tell yourself. Me too. I won't let it take you. That was close. That man in the village. I saw his past. I am the one who killed his brother. I'll be alright. I just need a moment. Can you wait with me? Oh boy. Well, that explains it then, why he turned so quickly. I thought it was just because, like, she reminded him of, well, the problems he'd had to face, but obviously if she was the one who actually killed his brother, then yeah, that makes a lot more sense now why he turned so quickly. Everything the skulls fought for, the sacrifices we made, the things we did, in the end it was all for nothing. Sometimes I look back on the road I walked and the bitterness I still taste. And I wonder, if I'd grown up in another time, another place, would I have done the same to a different people? Was it always in me? To be me? All I know is, everyone would have been better off if I'd never been born. But I was. I dragged others into a hell of my own making. I remember these two brothers in particular, childhood friends of mine. The older one enlisted with me, but the younger... He would never have made it as a soldier. He was too kind. Too good. Ansred died at Specula Imperatoris, but his brother's still out there somewhere. Not that I've got the courage to face him after what I did. I hope he's found the life he deserves. Wait. Was that part of the main story quest at some point? I don't remember this. I met a former skull called Rudolph. Rudolph! He's alive! But how? I'm glad he made it out. Too many others didn't. Too many others still need our help. I helped make this blasphemy, and by Ralga, I'll kill the bastard if it's the last thing I do. Anyway, that's enough out of me. I'll be heading back to the city to make my report. I suggest you do likewise. Boy. Rudolph. I didn't remember that we specifically met somebody from the Skulls after that. Where was he, though? And when was that, anyway? There couldn't have been... I don't know. At that point, the story actually... Let me see. That would be here somewhere, right? No, wait, here, actually, right? After securing a foothold in the peaks by seizing Alagiri, the Oriental resistance set up their sights on an exological target, Specular Imperatoris. So Great Host, led by General Alden and Commander Kemp, laid siege to the towers, but when the massive cannon at Castro Mabania was used to destroy the main tower of Specular Imperatoris, killing countless allied and imperial troops, it was plain the rules of engagement had changed. You struggle to keep up with Alice as she runs toward what is left of Specular Imperatoris. Desperate to find her brother, she pushes through the gates before you can even think to stop her. Though Alphino and many others are nowhere to be seen, you find General Alden and Marshal Torrepin in the thick of things, bellowing orders left and right, in a bid to organize their forces' withdrawal. Seeing that Alice is on the verge of hysteria, Rauban reminds her that you all have a job to do, aiding the wounded. Amidst the debris, you find several aligned soldiers. Help them to the best of your ability, yet for every man you save, there are many more you cannot. While comforting a temple knight who remembers you from the steps of faith, you hear Lise pleading for Conrad to open his eyes. At least one of your comrades lives, but what of the others? You find Lise, Nago, and Alphino tending to Conrad, who lies motionless upon the ground. Though the others escaped with only minor injuries, the grizzled commanders are unquestionably mortal. He uses his final moments to implore Lise to succeed him as leader of the other Megan resistance, and she tearfully accepts, promising to lead their countrymen to freedom. Safe in the knowledge that his legacy is secure, Conrad Kemp smiles and breathes his last. Alphino is incensed, swearing bloody vengeance for Conrad's death, and the indiscriminate slaughter at Specular Imperatoris, for indeed, what manner of monster would order the death of his own? Yeah, that's when the tower fell. But I don't know when or where we may have found a survivor. At last you come face to face with the officer responsible for the destruction, for Dolo Remlupis. She makes no apologies for her actions and declares that all was in service of her countrymen, to secure a place for them within imperial society. Enraged, Lise charges with murder in her eyes, only to find that her opponent possesses supernatural strength and agility. After effortlessly evading her attacks and cutting down Alice with a single stroke, Fordola dives through the window and makes her escape, but not before extending you and your comrades an invitation to the royal hunt on behalf of Sinosier Galvus. With nothing to fear from the fortress's dormant cannon, Allied forces march on Castro Mabania and seize control of it in short order. Save for Alice's injuries, which you are assured will heal in time, the operation has gone exactly to plan, and yet Lee stands apart, quiet and distant. Yeah, I don't really know whether or not we found a survivor here. This is when Rauban tells us about his past, right? Yeah. I don't think there was... I don't recognize the name. Once again, it would be really cool if you could actually just search for the name itself and it would actually come up with quests where that name appears, but I fear that's not possible. And then this is already in the logs, right? Yeah, I don't know. Absolutely no clue where that would have been, to be completely honest. I mean, I could probably search through some other database or something for a quest that mentions that name. Actually, let me... Wait. Do you think I can do that? Let me see. So... Technically, if he's an NPC, he should be in here, right? Appearance, equipment, alternate instances. Oh, wait. So he appears in the quest not while their names are still spoken. Apparently. There isn't really a description of the quest, though. It's only the quest dialogue that you can read through. What is this quest, though? Oh, that's the... I think that's the unlock quest for the collectible turn-ins that you can do with Nago in Raldus Reach. I think that's where he appears. I think that's the quest. Interesting. Well, how the hell are you supposed to remember that? I mean, I think that I remember quite a lot about the game and about different quests, but a small detail like that? That's quite something. Welcome back. Bordola's already given her account, and I'd like to hear yours too. So she almost turned into a beast herself. We'll have to take that into consideration before sending her into the field again. As far as the events in Alaganha are concerned, the two of you did well. Despite the appearance of several beasts, you were able to prevent any further casualties. Well, not really. I mean, one person turned that maybe wouldn't have turned if we hadn't shown up there with Bordola, but then again, I mean... However, this serves to confirm that those with connections to the Crania Lupi should be considered at risk of turning. Over the years, many of them have drifted away from the larger settlements and have taken to living in secret. Others made their way to Ul'dah as refugees, including some individuals of interest. As such, we'll be working closely with the Immortal Flames to locate and offer support to those refugees in particular. In fact, I plan to make the journey there for an audience with the Sultana. Once my preparations are complete, perhaps you might accompany me. I'm sure she'll be glad to see you. Oh. Well, that's really cool how they've actually connected. I mean, I suspected something like that, right? Where, because we have this direct connection between Alamigo and Ul'dah in Rauban, right? So it was very clear to me that there was going to be something like that where we rather, like where some of the connections between the two places would play a role in this questline. But that we're going to meet the Sultana with Rauban together, that's pretty cool. What was it that I just got? 82, 86. Right. Completely forgot that that's a thing too. Aqua whale. Where did I actually put that? Oh, here. Okay. Oop. Interesting. But I got a trait just now, right? Holy Mastery Enhancer. Enhanced Divine Benison. Allows the accumulation of charges. Wait, Divine... Oh! Yeah, this one. I will actually take like a short 5-minute break, and then we'll continue with these quests. I'll be right back. Alrighty, let's continue with the quests. That's the 87 one now, right? Yes. A new battleground. Here to see Commander Alden, I take it? This way, please. Still, it's always a bit weird that we're meeting in some kind of corner somewhere instead of inside, but I mean, it's quite warm here, right? So why not? Our request for an audience with the Sultana has been accepted. Before we depart, I'll share what we've learned since last we spoke. The blasphemy continues to elude us, all the while driving others to succumb to despair in turn. Even with our Megan and Ul'dan forces searching for signs of the beast and more potential victims, we've yet to discern a pattern in the chaos. Nevertheless, if your blasphemy is like others, its behavior is likely dictated by the passions and regrets of the man it once was. Therefore, any information concerning him and the life he led may help us to track it down before it strikes again. We don't want people to shun the families of the skulls any more than they already are, but the fact remains that the vast majority of the beasts have been born from them. They're the ones at greatest risk of turning, without question. Cordola concerns me too. She came close to transforming once before, so I think it might be best if we keep her out of this after all. I mean, she deserves the chance to make amends. I think... You know... I'm inclined to agree with you. She was able to resist the transformation and has shown no signs of succumbing since then. If she wants to do her part, I say we let her. Well, I mean, the problem is that she has the Echo, though, right? While she is, or might be in control of herself, the Echo could always, I don't know, invoke something in her that might make her turn, but... If only I could go in her stead. Actually, I was hoping you'd come with us to meet the Sultana. I believe she would benefit greatly from your understanding of the struggles our peoples face. You'd gain from the experience too. While she's not the sort to brandish a sword and charge into battle, you'll soon discover she's a champion of her own arena, as brave as any warrior. I doubt she'd have much to learn from the likes of me, but it would be an honor to make her acquaintance. Arnwald and I will go on ahead and wait for you in the husting strip. We'll see you anon. We haven't spoken to Nanamo in a while, right? She wasn't... I mean, well... She was part of Endwalker in the sense that we saw her a couple of times, I think. I mean, she... You know... Like, with everybody... you know, everybody that was part of the game at some point got on it. We heard her voice at the end of Ultima Thule, when you do the Endwalker walk. The hosting strip is that the, like, close to the throne room? I think it is, right? Hosting strip, yeah. Chamber of Rule. Such calming music in Ulda. Papa Sean! Hello! I only let her out of my sight for a moment. I haven't seen you in a very long time. Master Papa Sean was just telling us that Nanamo, or should I say Lady Lilira, has gone on another of her jaunts about the city. Though it is not my place to question Her Grace's judgment, I do wish she had consulted me before running off on her own. Perhaps I'm overthinking it, but it's unlike her to keep guests waiting. If I may say so, sir, with blasphemies appearing throughout the land, it's a dangerous time to be going for a stroll. I suspect that may be the very reason. She wishes to see for herself how the citizenry fare in these trying times. Even so, it's downright reckless. We'll find her, though. No, I couldn't possibly allow such esteemed guests to... Come now. We might be here on official business, but we're old friends. And as you may remember, I've a knack for tracking down errant sultanas. Some might say that knack is a rather charitable... I should be glad of the assistance. What are you getting at? I'll take a look around here. Quizzing the locals will give me an opportunity to learn of recent going-ons in Ulda, too. Well then, there's no time like the present. Fear not. With me on the case, this'll be over before you know it. Just between you and me, Rauban has never had much luck at finding Lady Lilira. Rather the opposite, which isn't to say that he is misrepresenting his capabilities. Perhaps his recollection of events simply differs somewhat from reality. Rauban. I guess he isn't too proud of the fact that he actually can't find her when she's disguised. I think at the beginning he didn't even know that she would do that, right? Sapphire Avenue Exchange. Let's go here. Twilight Sparkle. Interesting name. It's been some time since I last combed the streets for young Lilira. As a matter of fact, Papa Sean and I would compete to see which one of us could find her first. As I recall, most of the contests ended in my favor. Is he really just recalling that incorrectly, or... The trick, you see, is to look past the disguise and pay attention to the gestures and mannerisms. The tiniest movement that might give her away. Come, I'll show you how it's done. I have a feeling this isn't going to go over too well. Follow Rauban's lead and try not to fall behind. Follow my lead. She's fond of perusing the stalls here. I mean, there isn't anybody here though, except for the stall people. Franz Beckenbauer. What are you doing here? Should you be like, I don't know, organizing another FIFA event? She's not here. Where could she be? What if she's been abducted? Yeah, sure. Just jump to the, like, worst conclusion. One of these pots. Perhaps not. What the... that wouldn't be suspicious at all. Isn't the whole point of her disguise? Never known her to be this elusive. That's odd. I've tried all her usual haunts, so unless she's hiding inside a barrel or something equally nonsensical, she must be elsewhere. God, why did she choose now of all times to run off? What if she's been abducted, or run afoul of a beast? There's no need to assume the worst, we should keep looking. It's very unlikely that's been happening. You're right, I know. It's hard not to worry. Where could she be? Come to think of it, something Papa Sean said caught my ear. He thought Nanamo went on this excursion because of the emergence of the blasphemy and the beasts, to better understand how her people are coping with the situation. If so, she'd be driven to seek out the most desperate and destitute. Pearl Lane, then. Might I ask you to lead the way? I'll admit my ability to track missing persons may have dulled somewhat. Pearl Lane has ever been plagued by pickpockets and the like. I'll watch your back, so go ahead and give the search for Lilira your full attention. Okay. I don't necessarily think there would be optional dialogue here. Only in Pearl Lane itself, maybe. I love how there's always just bottles lying around here. Oh yeah, there's an optional dialogue field. Some say money can buy you happiness, but they've never tried living without it. Those who call Pearl Lane home never had the luxury of choice. City's poorest live here, and as such are at greater risk of turning. Knowing this, I expect Lilira came to learn from their plight. While it may not be immediately obvious, conditions here have improved considerably of late. Her Grace continues to support the rebuilding efforts in Garabania, which has led to the creation of jobs for many of the locals, both here and on the other side of Belsar's wall. Cool. I mean, it doesn't look too bad. It's still like a shabby side street, but in and of itself, not the worst. In every society, there are the haves and the haves and the have-nots, and seldom is this divide more sorely felt than here in Ul'dah. Many of the young and able-bodied work for Lolorito's guards, though he earns more in an afternoon than most will in a lifetime. Yeah, that's not that much different from some folks in reality, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending on what side you're on, but, you know, unless you're the 0.1%, then you'll never know that feeling. There she is. Nana, Lady Lilira. Wouldn't it be incredibly suspicious that Rauban specifically knows this one Lalafell that looks very close to the Sultana? Like, no matter what he calls her. Rauban, whatever are you doing here? And you too. Well, I am glad to see you both. Our meeting is not yet due to commence for several bells. What is the meaning of this? You are worried, and with good reason. These are far too dangerous times to be roaming about alone, Your Grace. Some things never change. I assure you, I am quite capable of looking after myself in my own city of all places. More importantly, I wish to observe firsthand how the people have been faring of late. They might be better prepared to participate in our discussion later. But I have finished. You will be comforted to hear. And pray allow us to escort you to more amenable surroundings. Would you care to ride on my shoulder? Somehow that just sounds weird if he says it like that. Certainly not. You have already attracted more than enough attention. Yeah, that's what I said, right? I mean, us just talking to this random Lalafell obviously will tip people off about who she actually is. So, I don't know, Rauban. Not very clever of you. So I guess we need to go back to... yeah. Yep. I have a feeling the search would have taken rather longer if Rauban had been left to his own devices. I don't know, I mean, it didn't really do that much, and we literally just went through a couple of streets and then she just walked by, so... I mean, well, then again, he did look in some places that she most definitely wasn't. I thank you all for making the journey here during these difficult times. And it is my pleasure to properly make your acquaintance. On behalf of the people of Eorzea, allow me to express my sincerest gratitude for your continued dedication to our cause. With respect, Your Grace, I'm just a soldier. Was a soldier. Still, I say, Commander Alden would not make such a distinction, and neither will I. You yet serve your people, and have provided solace to many of Ala Mhigo's most vulnerable. If we are to deal with this threat, we must forearm ourselves with knowledge. I understand you come bearing information regarding the blasphemy and its victims. We have indeed. Hence the need to locate families of Craniae Lupi members who have fled to Thanalan. There is no end to the struggles faced by Ala Mhigan refugees, and those who once pledged allegiance to the Empire are no exception. But rest assured that, irrespective of their pasts, all will be treated with an even hand. All will be afforded such aid as I am able to provide. Magnanimous as always, Your Grace. If I might be so bold, I have a question. What do you have in mind for those most at risk of undergoing the change? I believe there is but one recourse. Earnest and open dialogue. While some are born into unimaginable wealth, others suffer great hardship and oppression. The circumstances of our birth are beyond our control. Our fate subject to the whims of the gods, some would argue. I once thought myself a prisoner to my fate, a figurehead, helpless to watch on as my people starved, a powerless puppet. I wanted nothing more than to cast it all aside, to free us all, but failed for my naivete. And then was afforded a second chance for my privilege. The world is unfair, terribly so. But we have the power to push back against inequalities and injustices, if not overcome them on blessed occasions. To love our neighbor and share in life's bounties. To open our hearts and come together as one. Truer words were never spoken. But without the support of the people, such words are naught but vain platitudes. Thankfully, my recent attempts to make inroads with the monetarists have met with some success. Despite differing views on many subjects, we yet strive to find common ground. Common ground. We've been pouring all our efforts into aiding families of the Craniolupi. While it seemed to help to a degree, some have still succumbed and turned. Of course, they are not the only ones in danger. Alamegans everywhere, whether they sided with the Empire, fought for the Resistance, or were caught in the middle, they all suffered. They all wake up in the night at times, haunted by memories of death and despair. We know what can happen if those feelings are left to fester. The legacy of the Imperial occupation will not soon be forgotten, but rather than seek to forget, mayhap it is necessary to remember, to acknowledge and accept the truth of it, that they may properly mourn those they have lost. Aye, a remembrance. I propose we hold a memorial ceremony for those who died during the war. Everyone, no matter who they were or what they did. Let them be loved, let them be hated, but above all, let them be remembered. And in the remembering of the dead, in their honor and their sin, we, the living of Alamigo, may yet find a silver of common ground, a sliver. It's a noble sentiment, but bringing together people who have reason to distrust one another and risk inflaming tensions could be a recipe for disaster. Then again, we can't keep ignoring the merit and the room and do nothing to address the situation. As long as we leave it to the individuals to decide whether or not to attend the ceremony, I think it's worth a try. Organizing an event of this scale will require a great deal of effort, so I offer my full support. Once you know what's needed, come to me, and we'll put the plan into action. Obviously, some will balk at the idea, which is perfectly understandable, so I'll be listening to their opinions as well. After all, we want it to be a ceremony that brings Alamegans together. And I was wondering, Your Grace, if I might ask about your approach to, well, talking to people, winning them over. As you can tell, I'm no politician, so I'd be grateful for any advice you can share with me.
Why, I would be delighted to. As a matter of fact, I have a number of matters I wish to discuss with you.
And on that note, I suggest you and I return to Alamigo. Well, this is turning out to be quite the party. Interesting. Wonder what Abba and Ollie would say if I could tell them I had a chat with the Sultan. I can hardly believe it myself.
The relationship between Ul'dah and Alamigo is one which I cherish deeply. It is imperative that we coordinate our efforts in facing this crisis.
To see the Sultana grow to become such a capable and compassionate leader brings a tear to my eye. Well, we're surely glad to have her. I mean, somehow this quest is quite straightforward in a lot of ways. But once again, it's just very, very cool to have all of these characters back with us, right? because well, Fordola did appear like a little bit during the main story at the end of Shadowbringers, together with Arnvald. But between that, we didn't have all that much, right? We had the... when was that, actually? I think it was... yeah, that was... well, not at the end of Shadowbringers, but at the end of 5.0, when you were able to do the level 80 job quests. The Summoner questline actually includes Arnvald and Fordola as well, as sort of a... like, you can just talk to them and they'll tell you about their struggles against the primals and stuff. Which is very cool that they included that as well. And... yeah, but beyond that, we didn't really... like, they were always there and we knew what they were doing. And yes, they had a part to play in 5.5, I think it was. But never as big as I would have liked. Obviously, Arnvald appeared throughout multiple other occasions as well, but it's just very cool that now they've dedicated a whole role quest to them being there as well. I knew Arnvald would make a good impression, but he's outdone himself. Not only has he found a new avenue in life to explore, he's taken to it with considerable aplomb. While his proposed memorial ceremony is bound to have its detractors, I have faith that many will come around. Not all, but enough, I pray. For our part, we must stand at the ready for whatever may occur. I shall send word if there are any developments. Well, apparently there were some, because there is a new quest here. Laying the past to rest. Level 88.
There you are. Commander Alden has asked me to convey to you the following information. At present, we are looking into reports of missing relatives of the Crania Lupi. With the cooperation of the Silver Griffins, we're currently searching for any clues as to their whereabouts. Thanks to the concerted efforts of Ragnfried and the others, the general public has been willing to cooperate with our investigation. Though many still harbor feelings of distrust for the collaborators and their kin, they have grown more receptive to our cause on the whole. Arnvald's been making steady progress in preparing for the memorial ceremony. He plans to host a meeting between the various community leaders to go over the finer details. In fact, he was wondering whether you could assist in delivering the invitations. If you can spare the time, you should be able to find him in the Mercantile District. Anyway, that's all for now. I have a few other matters to attend to, so if you'll excuse me, duty calls.
He's actually here? Okay. Where, though? Not here. There you are. Thanks for coming. Should come as no surprise that planning a memorial ceremony for a whole bloody nation would keep a man busy, but by Ralga, this is something else. The hardest part's been gathering information on those who died in the war, especially when it comes to the skulls and other conscripts. And they're the ones we need to treat most carefully. If we don't acknowledge the crimes of our kin and all their painful truth, then we do a disservice to their victims, living and dead. But if we let people paint them as monsters who did monstrous things, things we believe we would never do, then we perpetuate a different but no less dangerous lie. As for preparing the event itself, I'll be holding a meeting with members from each of the settlements around Girabania. I've sent invitations to most of them already, but I was hoping you'd help me with the last two. There's Mrasnun in the Peering Stones and Sarisha in Virenilia. I'll give you one for each. The Peering Stones, that guy I still know, but the other one? To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if they refused, considering how their people suffered at the hands of the Skulls. But I hope we can remind them that deep down we're all just people trying to survive, to protect our loved ones.
We may have driven the Empire from our lands, but as long as we hold fast to the grudges born of their attempts to divide and set us against one another, we'll never be free of their legacy of cruelty. With that in mind, I've included an account of my experiences with the Silver Griffins and the people I've met. Victims, collaborators, their friends and their family, men and women who lived through it all, survivors. Even if they refuse to join the ceremony, at least they will know, and hopefully understand our reasons for holding the event. Granted, I've not had much practice in writing important letters, but I think they'll get the message. You being the one to deliver them will make a word of difference, I'm sure. Take care, won't you? Let's go to the Peering Stones first. Sarisha? Sarisha, isn't that one of the, Ananta? I think so, right? I haven't been here in a while. Aren't they also all cute Mikote? Aren't they, like... Wasn't the deal that they're all, like, female? Remember that correctly? Didn't remember there being so many here. Greetings, friend. It's been too long since last we spoke. What brings you to my village? So the rumors are true. I need not read this letter in full to know its contents. I understand that Dragonfried's volunteers are working to support the families of those lost in the war, which few will deny is a worthy cause, but to include the relatives of the Crania Lupi. The Skulls watched the Empire slay us in our thousands, and still they turned their cloaks and fought for our oppressors. You would ask us to mourn the deaths of these curs alongside their victims. You have every right to be angry and to refuse. Arnwald wishes only that you read his account before coming to a decision. To dismiss it out of hand would be discourteous. Very well. Family. As known, my tribe is my family, and I know all too well the responsibility that brings. I would do anything to protect them. Anything. Loyalty, pride, conscience, my very soul. All are meaningless if I cannot ensure the safety of those I love. I suspected some skulls had been faced with the self-same choice, but to see how their kin suffered, I cannot say I do not understand. Though I wish that I did not. Their crimes will never be forgiven. They cannot be. But I, and any others who are willing, can offer our prayers for these tortured souls and the men they could have been. I accept the invitation, not on behalf of the M tribe, but as Mraz Noon. So I will put the question to my people that they may decide for themselves. I'm also eager to make the acquaintance of the person who wrote this letter. He's not wont to turn a blind eye to the bitter truth, painful though it is to confront. The meeting will be the perfect opportunity to take his measure. Well, that went over quite well. With all the recent trouble, the towns and villages we once thought safe are fraught with danger. Please, keep your senses keen wherever you go. I don't really know if that referred to the thing we're currently doing, or if she's just been saying that the whole time. I still love the Stormblood areas. I know a lot of people thought that they, especially around Alamigo here, are a bit... I mean, it's basically a stone desert, right? But I don't know. Since Stormblood was the first expansion that I went through at launch, it's just... I mean, you really just remember that, right? Welcome. To what do we owe the pleasure of your visit? Then it is as I suspected. There have been rumors that such a ceremony would take place. Although you have traveled far to make this invitation, I must decline. I cannot mourn the loss of the fallen if the Crania Lupi are to be counted among them. Like the Kalyana, they chose to aid the Gallian oppressors, killing and bleeding for those who would pillage our lands. Cowards and traitors all. And are we to assume that Kalyana who died fighting for the Empire will be honored as well? If so, it is all the more reason for us to refuse. Arnwald understands and accepts that you might refuse. His only request was that you read his account and then decide. If you insist. I love the letter opening sound. It's pretty cool. No one was spared suffering in the occupation. Not the resistance, not the collaborators, not the families of both, no one. That so many would die in shame and ignominy, having sold their souls only to lose everything, is a tragedy and a lesson. If they are forgotten, then the lesson of their folly is forgotten. For the sake of this land we call home, I will join you in remembrance, and implore my people to do the same. In mourning, may we strengthen our ties with our neighbors as well. By together facing our past, we can build a foundation for lasting peace and prosperity. It would be my honor to attend the proposed meeting. I look forward to personally thanking your friend Arnwald for his dedication. I and my peers have much to learn from the example he has set. To be honest, that, in both instances went a lot better than I thought. But I mean, as we've learned in our actual history and society, then, it's always better to remember, right? That's the key point. Remember, no matter what happened, no matter who was the aggressor or who suffered or whatever, the most important thing is to remember. Because if you do that, then through time, at some point, you'll be able to learn from history. If you just forget, then you can never learn, right? You would... I mean, it depends, right? I mean, if the only way you personally can find peace is to forget, then, sometimes that is the better choice for an individual, but not for society. And that's sort of the struggle that we face, right? Is that some individuals need this burden, or need to bear this burden of remembering, so that society can remember. And we sort of need to decide for ourselves who who are the ones that remember and need, therefore maybe suffer a bit more, and who are the ones who suffered enough and should forget. I don't know. So, how did you fare in the fringes? They said that about me. It's rare for me to get such glowing praise, especially from renowned leaders like Sarisha Mraz Noon. More importantly, though, they agreed to attend the meeting, and I've got you to thank for that. After all, I imagine it's hard to turn down an invitation when it's hand-delivered by the Warrior of Light himself. Before I get ahead of myself, though, I must remember that this is only the beginning. Bringing everyone together is one thing. Coming to an agreement on an extremely divisive issue is a different kettle of fish entirely, Sir Grace was quick to point out. But as she's taught me, if our cause is just and our hearts are true, those of like mind will surely answer the call. And answer it they have. While there are bound to be differences of opinion, I'm sure there's nothing we can't overcome if we put our minds to it. To that end, I was hoping you could join us, if you've the time to spare. There are still a few loose ends Raganfried and I need to tie up beforehand, so we'll meet you in the palace as soon as we can. Just having you there will make a world of difference. Are we doing this now, or is that the next quest? No, we're doing this now, I think. Here for the meeting, yes? I am indeed. Once again, back at the Royal Palace. They've actually used this place quite a lot, but it's a convenient meeting place, I guess. So while we all agree upon the importance of the ceremony, we recognize that the inclusion of the Crania Lupi will be distressing for many. I, too, lost family at their hands, and I would never ask others to forgive and forget. But for all their crimes, they were Alamegans, just like us. None made the decision to side with Garlemald lightly. They had a choice, and they chose to betray us. Who among us have not made difficult choices for kith and kin? Do not forget that Fordola chose to stand between us and the Prime. What does that have to do with it? Brothers and sisters, arguing will avail us naught. The fate of Alamigo rests on my shoulders and yours, on those of every man, woman, and child that calls these lands home. To uphold our honor, to strive for prosperity, to protect our loved ones, we all know the weight of these responsibilities. 'Twas that self-same weight which drove many of our people to serve our oppressors, misguided as it was. And though they chose a different, unconscionable path, in the end we all wanted the same thing, to deliver our families from persecution, that they might live to see one more day. Because another day in shame and self-hatred was still better than none at all. The regretful dead are survived by their despair, a despair which threatens to drag us all into an abyss from where there is no escape. Know that it surely will, if we welcome it into our hearts out of disdain for those we cannot forgive. But we Alamegans will not be so easily defeated. We will stand united and conquer this menace. Every Alamegan who fought and died did so in the hopes that one day we would be free. And we are free. We are free. By the blood of our fallen brothers and sisters, we are free. Free to lock away the pain and pretend it has no power over us, until it festers and takes us in our beds. And free to lay it bare and let it breathe, to acknowledge and to mourn our people at their best and their worst. The past is ours to bear, all of it, for ourselves and for future generations, so that they needn't suffer like we did. Let us make Alamigo a nation where no man is left behind, where he can make all the wrong choices and still be afforded the chance to make a right one. Whew. I mean, well, they are making some really good points. I mean, it's very, very hard to, I guess, empathize with this, right? Because I think, you know, most people, thankfully, especially nowadays, have never suffered through, like, not only through war, but through the fact that their family might have died at the hand of, well, somebody, right? And it's always easy to say, well, you know, you should, well, not exactly forgive them, but still, you know, not be out for vengeance and revenge, right? And I mean, while we are sane, while we, you know, we're not faced with this despair, I think for most people, they would probably say, yeah, of course I wouldn't, you know, just, or, you know, if I could take revenge, I think most people would realize how not only difficult that would be, but how it would destroy them emotionally. But that's only because we haven't actually suffered that, right? I think if something terrible were to happen to us, then, you know, those thoughts get distorted and at the end of the day probably end in a much darker place because of it. That went better than any of us could have hoped for. You have my gratitude for your part in the proceedings, but we both know who the real hero of the day was. This was all Arnvald's idea, and it was his words that finally won over the naysayers. Now that we have the community leaders on our side, we should have a much easier time convincing the rest of the citizenry. Of course, holding the ceremony is by no means our final objective. No matter what we say, some will refuse to attend. It is my hope, however, that it will still serve to provide a measure of closure for us all, and to ease the plight of the vulnerable and ostracized. Speaking of which, you will recall the incident with Fordola and Alaganha. The young girl she saved and her mother wished to thank her personally. Considering what happened last time, though, I have reservations. It would be a valuable opportunity to present a former skull in a more positive light. On the other hand, I don't need to tell you how unpredictable she can be, and that's before taking her echo into consideration. But that's a conversation for another day. Go, and get some rest. You've earned it. Yes, a day after I've done the dailies. Alright, I can still take on the quest, so that's what I was a little bit confused by last time. I think that was the case with the caster quest as well, right? So when you've already gotten another job to 90, you can still take on the quest, but you can only turn it in on the job that has the appropriate level for the particular quest, which is a bit weird in my opinion.
that that's possible, right? In my opinion, technically, I should have to switch to Scholar in order to even take on this quest. It's weird that I can take it on White Mage, but not turn in on White Mage. I don't know why they decided to do it, or if that's still like a bug or just an oversight. I mean, it's not really a bug, right? It's not bugged. It will still prevent you from turning in the quest. But I wonder if it's a slight oversight on their part, or if it's intended. But yeah, for it to be intended, it's just a very kind of weird way of doing things, I feel like. But yeah, I'll have to level for these next quests and do dailies and stuff. That's quite the hard decision, right? I don't really want to do all the dailies on stream. It's gonna take a while. You know what? For now, let's just continue with the let's continue with the event quest for now. And then maybe continue with the Ishgard one and finish off this role quests next time or this evening. We'll see. Because if I do all the dailies now, I'm afraid I will have to take a lunch break before I can finish and turn in the role quests and do those kinds of things. And then the whole like time thing or schedule thing, whatever you want to call it, will just be fucked up. So I'd much rather do it this way. It's not that much left, right? It's only 2 quests, so I'll do those later on, I guess. That'll be fine. I just don't really want to... You know, doing dailies on stream is just not a very fun experience, to be completely honest. At least I think so. It's just not the most entertaining thing to watch, and also... yeah, it's sometimes it's just easier to get through and grind on the side while watching something yourself, I guess. Adventurers Guild Investigator. Oh, I should probably switch back to my main. All Clowns Wake. Ah, we meet again. You're the adventurer who so kindly assisted me with my investigation in years past, yes? Truth be told, your timing couldn't be better. There's a small matter I could use your help with, should you have a moment to spare. As you can well see from the decorations about town, All Saints' Wake is nearly upon us, and I'm pleased to report that this year at least, I have seen no sign of those friends from the Continental Circus as of yet. So they're not going to address the fact that it's not happening at the usual time? That said, I do not mean to say that things have been uneventful of late. A rather peculiar gentleman known as the Scarlet Snout has appeared to fill the vacuum of absurdity left by the circus. Most suspicious, as I'm sure you will agree, which is why I set about investigating the matter. However, things have not quite gone to plan, and I was hoping you might be able to help me look into the strange character. Do you think you could spare some time to ask the residents of Gridania about the Scarlet Snout? Ah, you have my thanks. I shall continue to do my part in the meantime. Pray alert me should you learn aught of interest. I don't actually remember that circus that well. And what they were about. Foolhardy chap. Man with a rat nose. Listen, it's just between the two of us. I have met the man of whom you speak. In fact, he even invited me to a banquet of sorts.
Yes, I was relaxing by the river the other night when I suddenly heard a voice that I couldn't quite place. I turned around to see a man dressed in motley stand behind me. We got to talking. Befitting his appearance, he's quite the jovial fellow, and after a pleasant little chat, he invited me to dinner at his home in the coming days. I called it a banquet, but he assured me that it would be a modest affair with only him and a few of his newfound friends. He also swore me to secrecy. No doubt he doesn't want strangers to come and crash the event. So don't tell anyone else I told you about this, alright? Well, I mean, if you're just going to tell strangers anyway, but telling them not to tell anybody else, then if everybody does that, there's still going to be thousands of people there. Considering this is All Saints' Wake, this banquet might be, I don't know, like a murder banquet. To be honest, that would be a pretty incredible All Saints Wake event. Like a murder party in Hauke's Manor, probably. Excitable lad. A fellow with a red nose? Well, why no. I've heard nothing of such a man, and I most certainly haven't been invited to a holiday feast organized by such an individual. Perish the thought. About this feast. Alright, I'll tell you all I know. I was heading home from an errand when this fellow with the most prominent proboscis approaches me and asks if I'd visit him at his house. Said he needed someone to share his toys and sweets with. Yeah, that's not suspicious at all if a stranger comes up to a kid like you and says, oh yeah, come by my house, I've got toys and sweets. Sure. At the same time, he made me assure him that I would tell no one of this offer, or that he even spoke to me at all. If he found out about this, I don't know what would happen. Promise me you won't tell anyone else. This sounds dangerous now. What's that pink elephant doing here? I really do need to look out for the fates now that I've finished everything, or most, anyway. Most Endwalker stuff. But there's plenty of time, I mean. I really don't need those things right away. I just hope there's a lot of people about here, right? I just hope that that's not going to change too much when they introduce more servers to the European data center. I still think that it's a bit of an overkill to increase the number of servers from 12 to 24. But, I mean, they have their numbers. At the end of the day, they probably want to get to a more stable server configuration where they have less people per server so that they can be sure that they're stable, right? Can't say I've seen anyone matching that description myself, but now that you mention it, I remember a friend of mine saying she saw an odd character wandering about here the other day. It stuck with me because she said he was dressed up in odd garb, almost like that of a jester. I can't guarantee that was the man you're looking for, but it sounds too similar to be coincidence, yes? It does indeed. Oh, wait. Rumor monger. Ah, so you're looking for the so-called Scarlet Snout as well, are you? Well, tough luck. I'm going to beat you to him. See, I've heard that he is a well-heeled bloke who loves nothing more than to share his fortune with his friends. Ever since then, I've been searching high and low for him. Even if I didn't know anything, damned if I'm going to share it with anyone. Okay. Fine. I'll probably find him first anyways. Still with the loading screen every time. Only thing that I don't like about Gridania. Ah, you're back. Did you glean anything of interest, perchance? Inviting total strangers to his abode and swearing them to secrecy? Most suspicious indeed. Yes, I highly doubt he is inviting these people out of the kindness of his heart. Something is afoot here. Speaking of which, I was able to uncover some new information myself. It would seem most sightings of the Scarlet Snout occurred by the river. I suspect it would be relatively easy to spot him if we staked out the area. And yet, I am hesitant to go myself. I have been asking around for so long now that it is likely that our suspect knows me and is taking pains to avoid me. While I am loath to impose upon your kindness, might I ask you to take care of this alone? Promise that I will be watching from a safe distance and will not hesitate to lend a helping hand should you need it. Oh, thank you ever so much. Now we've no time to lose. Let us hurry along the riverbank. Yes, right by the Leatherworkers Guild should give us a good vantage point. What is going on here anyways? Continental Circus Publicist. Hello there, Pumpkin! Enjoying the frightfully delightful festivities, I take it. If there's anything you'd like to know, just ask away. Okay. I mean, maybe after we finish the quest, there's actually going to be somebody else here. Oh man, she's still horny for the two brothers. Wait, am I supposed to go on the bridge or below the bridge? Oh, below. He's just hiding. That's not really from a far away distance. Right? I mean, especially since it's lower than the street above and everybody could see you from there. Let's see if we can meet this fellow. Say there, mister. No, not there. Here. Over here. Whoa! Where the hell did you come from? Greetings, my friend. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Oh, dear me. Why the cold reception? Surely my appearance doesn't frighten you. Actually, I've heard some dodgy rumors about you. Dodgy? Me? There must be some mistake. I'm sure whoever told you those things simply had the wrong end of the stick. But where are my manners? I should introduce myself. I am Papa Gruff, a humble clown. Would you care to share your name with me? Papa Gruff? What kind of name is that? Is that a reference to somebody? Such a pleasant name. Brings a smile right to my face. Oh, it feels like we're thick as thieves already. How to commemorate our newfound friendship? Oh, but of course! Why don't you join me at my humble abode for a feast? I swear you haven't lived until you've been to one of my banquets. I ask only one favor. You are to tell no one about this. Wouldn't do if some random stranger barged in on a gathering of friends, yes? And should I find out you have gone against my wishes, well... Ha, but I jest. That's what I do, you see. I wouldn't dream of harming even a flea. You have nothing to worry about. Nothing at all. Any road, come meet me under the Bent Branch Meadows Bridge whenever you're ready, and I'd be more than happy to show you the way to my home. Well, ta-ta for now. I guess we have to go there then, huh? So that was our man, was it? I must say his appearance was every bit as distinctive as the rumor said. Pray tell, did he invite you to his feast as he did the others? He did indeed. I had a feeling this was how things might play out. While his actions are most suspicious, it is impossible to tell exactly what his goal is, and whether or not he has any malicious intent. Suppose our best option is to play along for the time being. Might I ask you to head to Bent Branch Meadows and observe things from a safe distance? If it seems the snout is up to no good, we'll put a stop to it straight away. I myself shall first return to the Adventurers Guild in order to deliver my report. Let us rendezvous at our destination when we both are ready. What was that turn? I wonder where he'll lead us. Oh, sorry. Getting a bit tired again. I mean, there isn't really anything else in the vicinity here, is there? Or am I forgetting about something?
There's still a couple of people here doing the quest. This location should afford you a good vantage point of the precise location the Scarlet Child gave you. Observe from a distance in the hope that he reveals himself. Why is he always under a bridge? Where it's... well, yeah, it's some kind of bridge.
Welcome, welcome, one and all. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you here today. Perhaps that's a bit too formal for the occasion. Let's try this again. My friends, welcome to the House of Gruff. By all means, make yourself at home.
What the heck are you carrying on about over here? Could hear you from miles away. What? Oh, are they from the circus? My beloved wife, what brings you here?
What brings me here? Why, our dear son and I were worrying you might burst of lungs screaming like this. Oh, Papa, Momsy has told me all about the party. Can't wait to meet all of your new friends. Yes, darling, I'm sure it's going to be an absolutely splendid time.
Okay, this I did not expect. What the hell is going on here?
No doubt your father here has invited you multitudes of illustrious guests. Isn't that so, Papa?
But of course, my sweet. Don't you worry. I can assure you the event will be quite the spectacle.
Just think of all those innocent fools sauntering casually to our boat, blissfully unaware that they are, in fact, marching towards their doom. Oh, how I love seeing the terror on their faces when they realize their fates. It's truly to die for. Quite literally for them. Oh. Yes. And with the fear we've extracted from the depths of their very souls, we can summon forth our fiendish friends and hold the banquets of our dreams. The night of devilry shall finally be upon us. The night of devilry? Is that something fun? It will be the most fun you've had, little one. Admittedly, I have yet to experience it myself, but I've heard enough of the legends to know it will not disappoint. Henry Road, our honored victor. Guests are scheduled to arrive any moment now. Head back to the venue, my dear family. I shall return anon.
Quite different to what I expected, yet still somehow what I expected. Apparently there is going to be a murder party of sorts. Are the investigators here somewhere? Oh. Okay. There's a couple of people here. Back from Band Branch, are you? Pray tell me, what exactly did you witness there? Good gods! Sounds like a plot most foul indeed. Fortunately, help is at hand. Upon hearing my report, the guild saw fit to dispatch an expert in matters of the occult to aid us in getting to the bottom of this. I am most certain he will be able to help us come up with an effective way to thwart the Snout's villainy. Let me know when you are ready, and I shall introduce you to him. Is that Mark guy? Pumpkin cookie. A devilish imp is thought to have made the slightly burnt biscuit shaped like a pumpkin head. One can only wonder what ingredients it contains. Yeah, thank you. I didn't. Modern cosmetics clowning around. Wait, that's a haircut though, right? Don't we also get the costume that he wears? Wait, do we get a haircut?
Who the fuck is that? Ready to proceed with our investigation, are you? Excellent. Allow me to introduce you to our esteemed collaborator. This is Mark, specialist in matters of the occult dispatched by the Guild to assist in apprehending the nefarious Papa Gruff. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. Before we go any further, I wish to ensure that I have a grasp on the situation as it stands. If it's quite alright with you, pray share all you have learned about our quarry thus far. I see. Quite fascinating indeed. Yes, it was all as I read in that tome. My apologies. I tend to get lost in my own thoughts sometimes. Allow me to begin by giving you a brief introduction to the so-called Night of Devilry, or at least as I understand it. It is said that during All Saints' Wake, the saints are invited to banquets in the heavens each and every night. At such time, the world below is left unprotected, and fiends, summoned by the ogre Pumpkinhead, are free to wreak havoc on the defenseless denizens. One fiend in particular is said to be especially boisterous. I speak of the one known as the Doomsday Clown. Okay. Though, perhaps you know him better as the Scarlet Snout, or Papa Gruff. In any event, they are all the same most nefarious personage. If the texts are to be believed, those who set foot in his domain are fated never to return. I say just listening to this tale is enough to make my hair stand on end. That said, it seems we've quite a task on our hands even attempting to save his would-be victims. Have we no way of protecting ourselves once inside his lair? I thought you would never ask. Pray feast your eyes on these fine creations of mine. I present to you two artifacts I have recreated by referencing a number of ancient tomes, together with some of my own personal touches, of course. Behold the fiendish lantern and a phial of warding holy water. But what do they do? You must wonder. Well, allow me to explain. First of all, the fiendish lantern emits a certain wavelength of light that Voidsent absolutely detests. As for the warding holy water, it not only protects the holder's soul from being stolen, but also enables one to rescue the lost souls of others and return them to their mortal frames. Mortal flames is somebody else. I have not had yet the opportunity to test them, and thus cannot vouch for their effectiveness, but I am very much hoping that they will serve you well, for both our sakes. Great. I love an outlook like that. Wait, you mean there's no guarantee that... He just smiles. But it matters not. We face a potential crisis here, and beggars cannot be choosers in times of need. My friend, are you willing to put your faith in Mark's creations and do what needs to be done? Excellent. In the meantime, I shall do my best to ensure that the Scarlet Snout is not able to lure anyone else into his trap. Speaking of the Snout, I have also heard another rumor. Apparently he has been handing out odd pumpkin cookies to those who attend his feast. Should you come into possession of such a confection, might you show it to me when you return? Splendid! Before you go, allow me to furnish you with a link pearl. Rest assured that I shall do my damnedest to support you from afar after you enter the dread clown's personal domain. Okay. Also, should you wish to know aught more about the items with which I have furnished you, just say the word. I shall return to Mikata's amphitheater and see that no other frightening hijinks ensue. Hijinks. When you have found out what you would about the Snout, pray visit me there. And Papa Gruff is where exactly? Oh, he's here.
Oh, yep, he's still under the bridge, I suspect. Maybe? Potentially? Yeah, there he is. Harlequin Guide. If it isn't my friend. Terribly sorry for the delay. Your timing couldn't be better. I'm pleased to report that I've finished preparing for the festivities. Let my loyal Harlequin guide know once you're ready, and he'll be more than happy to show you the way to the venue. You now have access to the Phantom Feast seasonal instance. To join the feast, speak with the Harlequin guide under the Van Branch Meadows Bridge or in the Acorn Orchard. Phantom's Feast is a light party instance. There are no class, job, or level requirements. Parties that register for the instance with less than 4 members will be filled out automatically. Obtain a pumpkin cookie from the Phantom's Feast and present it to the Adventurers Guild investigator. Does that work? The same. So they had one of the Halloween events, or 2 even, had this puzzle thing where you had to, like, as a party of 4, find certain things in Hauke Manor, if I remember correctly. Ooh, my apologies. So yeah, that might be it, actually. Oh boy, I don't know why I'm so tired. This is annoying me to an exceptional degree. I think this is a good time to stop, though. I know, it's in the middle of the quest, but I'll continue this today. I just want to, I really need a break. I need a lunch break. It's not been that long of a stream. It's more about, I don't know, I messed up something with my sleep schedule, and I don't want to take like a 45-minute break or something for lunch and then come back for the rest of these quests. So I'm gonna stop here and continue with this quest later on, and then I'll also I'm hopefully also done with the dailies, so that we can continue with the other quests as well. But yeah, this is gonna be it for now. And there's weird stuff going on down here, I think. Right? Maybe. Let's keep it here. Yeah, this is going to be it for now. I'll be taking a longer lunch break and do all kinds of other stuff, and then I'll be back this evening the evening for me at least, to continue with this quest, continue with the healer role quest as well, and then also do the Heaven's Ward thing as well. So still a couple of quests to do, and hopefully that's going to be, well, as interesting as these ones were. I really, really, really like I liked how they wrapped up the melee role quest. That was pretty cool. And I'm rather looking forward to seeing how the healer role quest resolves as well. Until then, have a great one. Enjoy your day, night, evening, wherever you are. And hopefully you'll be back when I continue with the event quest and all the other shenanigans that we will be up to. See you then. Bye-bye.